How's it going, guys? Skoks, Chicago Blackhawks Central here. Gonna go over some Hawks updates from this week and a few league wide um, breaking news, a few trades, a few just updates. I believe the Toronto Maple Leafs, some breaking news coming out of Toronto as well. So we'll go over that news right after this. I'll run the intro. Yeah, so I thought we would start out with some of the Hawks news. Let's pull that up right now. If you guys can see it just fine, let me know. And let's see if we'll be able to see this right here. And if everyone can see that right now, that would be awesome. Yeah, so first little tidbit we'll go over today from Riz on X or Twitter. Um, Whatever you want to call that now, but some good stuff online once again. A few little updates with some prospects. On Oliver Moore, has a very underrated shot, in my opinion. Once he learns his speed, he's going to be very, very effective altogether with a shot. Very excited for a big season from Oliver. Many should be a wagon, and I agree there also. Rinzel, also a player that uh, has impressed this last season in Minnesota. Just really, really fun to watch, and it's going to be awesome to see what he can really, really do. With more consistency and just another year under his belt in the NCAA. So that should be great to see. But let's move on here to the next update. I believe this was also from Ovi. Brent Seabrook playoff stats, some awesome stuff that he put out, I believe, last week. 2009 through 2017. So his playoff stats specifically 123 games played, 20 goals, 39 assists, 59 points, um, 425 hits, 269 blocks, three game winning goals. Just unbelievable. Big time player. Made some really big plays in the playoffs. Just a crucial, crucial player in that dynasty run. Just a very, very big piece on that team. But let's move on to Scott Powers. Breaking some other news with the broadcast for the Hawks. Scott Powers posted on the 7th, August 7th here. Big news on the CHSN front. Pat Boyle has been signed to continue on as a Blackhawks studio host, according to a team source. This will be Boyle's 13th season in the position. More studio hires are expected in the near future. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Um, I'm totally fine if they keep on Charlie Romeliotis because he does a great job reporting and does a pretty decent job on broadcast as well. And we'll see who else fills in for the broadcast. It's going to be interesting to see with the new network here coming up. But we'll see how that shakes out on the broadcast. Uh, Also interesting how the Hawks are posting a lot of Nick Foligno content recently. Um, is there something in the works there with any captaincy possibly? We'll see how that shakes out. But very, very interesting from the Hawks. Once again, Riz Adam Gayan is one prospect I'm very interested in this year. I've been locked on to Gayan every single year, um, or not every single year, but every single event he has going on. If I could get any of his games, streamed, whether it was from Flow Hockey or just the World Juniors, but I was locked into every game, every single shot coming his way. I was locked on watching Guyon. Definitely a very, very interesting prospect we have as a goalie. Uh, absolutely love him as a player. I think he's going to be a pretty decent player for us. A good netminder. Also, once again from Riz, shout out to him. I feel like Gavin Hayes is often forgot about. He is a 40 goal scorer in the OHL. Wonder if he can be one of those wonders that can bring some top six upside. Uh, I also agree with this. I like Gavin Hayes as a prospect, big goal scorer in the OHL, and we'll see how that translates to pro hockey. He does have the size, speed, not really his type of game, but he's really good in the ozone, has an awesome shot, and has some size. So that is totally fine. Riz seems like he was breaking a little rumor here as well for the Tom Kurvers showcase, which we'll go over right after a few of these updates. But yeah, super pumped for the Tom Kurvers showcase. It was in Minnesota last year, so looks like it's going to be in St. Louis this year. Cannot wait, but we will go over that whole roster right after this. So here's the Nick Foligno content I was talking about. Let's see, Fliggy doing Fliggy things. 4 pictures of Foligno here, just being a stud. Love Foligno on this team. So we'll see what happens with a few of those rumblings going on there. But very interesting. Darren Drieger, expect the Toronto Maple Leafs to name Austin Matthews captain on Wednesday. This is part of the evolution of Matthews as a leader, and current Maple Leafs captain John Tavares fully supports the change. Tavares has been heavily involved in the process with GM Brad Treveling. Okay, Matthews getting the seed doesn't really change much. I'm not high on the Maple Leafs. Never really was. They have great players on that team, but they can't put it together in the playoffs. It's been a failure for them in recent years. Lots of talent. Coaching is so. Goaltending is not good. Just weird. The Maple Leafs are just a weird team. And they can't seem to put it together. Once again, Riz, shout out for the Alex Vlasic clip. He puts out a lot of highlights of the Hawks prospects, just in short, little highlight clips, but awesome to see some thoughts on that as well. Let's see what else we got going on here. Ben Pope breaking some news earlier today on Tuesday. So he said there will be a series of Big Ten hockey games held at Wrigley Field in January after the Winter Classic. Details will be announced Thursday. So that's awesome to see for the college prospects. Who's going to be playing at Wrigley Field? That will be awesome to see. Let's see, maybe some potential players. So Frank Nazar will not be at Michigan anymore. Artem Levshunov will not be at Michigan State. So who? Minnesota, Oliver Moore, and Sam Renzel, if they end up getting a game at Wrigley Field, man, that's going to be awesome for them as well. Ryan Green at BU, that would be awesome. Sasha Boisvert at North Dakota, that will be awesome for the Hawks prospects. So I hope one of those teams gets a game at Wrigley. It's not far at all for me, less than 30 minutes ish. So that's awesome to see that, and I hope one of those guys gets a game there. But let's see here from Ben Pope. We have the Tom Kurvers Prospect Tournament. The schedule, times, and opponents lined up here, featuring the Blackhawks, Blues, and Wild, just like every year basically. Will be September 13th through the 15th at the was this Centene Community Ice Center near St. Louis this year. September 13th, Hawks versus the Blues, 7 p.m. September 14th, Hawks versus Wild, 6 p.m. And the 15th, Blues versus Wild, 3 p.m. So we'll see how that, like, round robin type of tournament goes for the prospects, but definitely intrigued to watch that. Last year was electric with Bedard playing, starting off with a hat trick and just going crazy. That's going to be awesome. But let's take a look at the Tom Kurvers Prospect Showcase roster, which we all love taking a look at because we all love prospects. Starting off with the forwards, Colton Dock. Interested, or it's intriguing to see him here for the Tom Kurvers Showcase because he's been around for a few years now. So good to see him just get more ice time because he was injured for a little bit of last season. So cool to see him get some ice time here. Gavin Hayes, Nick Lardis, Paul Ludwinski, Jalen Lipin, also back on the showcase roster. Marcel, Martin Misiak, Frank Nazar. That's going to be awesome. Alex Ferrand, Ryder Rolston, Samuel Savoie, Landon Slaggert, and AJ Spellacy. Recently drafted this year, summer of 24. But looking at the defenseman, Nolan Allen also hurt for the back end of the season last year for Rockford. So good to see him get some ice time. Lucas Brenton, I believe, was an invite. Ethan Del Mastro played very, very well last season for the Ice Hogs. So good to see him get in there. Ty Henry, awesome. Recent draft pick from the Erie Otters, raw prospect, but he definitely has the build to be a intriguing D prospect for the Hawks here. So awesome to see Ty Henry get some ice time now. Wyatt Kennedy, I believe he was the other invite. I think Artem Levshinov, so he will be the uh, highlight of that D core for the prospect showcase. But that's awesome, man. Lots of interesting prospects here. And Mathurin, I believe he was an invite as well. So maybe, yeah, two invites here on the defense. But goaltenders Drew Comesso and Ben Gaudreau. I believe Ben Gaudreau was the invite for something last year, right? Was it also the prospect camp last year? I think it was. Yeah, Ben Gaudreau was the goalie invite this season. So, yeah, he's new here, so that's awesome to see that as well. But Ben Pope put it here as well. Frank Nazar, Artem Levshinov, and Drew Comesso will headline the Hawks team. So there were two free agent invites from the OHL, defenseman Wyatt Kennedy and Nias Mathurin. Yeah, so Ben lays it out there. And once again, shout out to Max. Put a little prediction for the lineup for this prospect showcase roster. Let's see here. Slaggert, Nazar, Lardis. Love that. Having a grinder up there with Nazar and Lardis. Goal scorer, versatile center. Love it. Gavin Hayes, Colton Dock, Ferrand. A bit more size on line too, but still some skill there. Savoie, Ludwinski, Rolson. That's just your speed grinder line. That's they can also put the puck in the net, so that's awesome to see as well. Line 4, Jalen Lipin, Marcel, Misiak, and Spellacy. Some speed and skill down the middle with Misiak and size and, decent shot with Spellacy on that fourth line. So I would be very, very happy with those lines. Looking at the D core, Del Mastro, Levshinov, awesome. Second pairing, Brenton, Allen. Third pairing, Mathurin, Kennedy, and Ty Henry as the seventh defenseman. I'm guessing Henry gets in a spot on that third pair there just because he is a draft pick this summer. It's going to be lots of fun to check out that prospect showcase. Always tune into that every year. So definitely keep an eye out for the prospect showcase in St. Louis this year. All the streaming is going to be out, but that pretty much wraps up today's recap of Hawks updates. And we'll be back end of the week. Definitely have a feeling there will be more news this week. Just getting closer to hockey overall. About a month away from everything starting up with the prospects and training camp uh, getting rolling here for the Hawks. So we will be back later on this week, and we'll see you then. Let's go Hawks.